We told you several months ago about a woman from Spartansburg who was setting out to hike the entire distance of the Appalachian Trail. And after 6 months, we're happy to say she did it.
She did, and she has a lot of stories from her adventure. She also shared them with our John Last in this follow-up edition of The Last Word.
It was back in March when we were here in Corey to talk with Carol Fielding. She was about to leave for Georgia to walk the entire length of the Appalachian Trail by herself. We're back to find out how she did it. This is Carol last March when she was training on Corey's Greenway Trail. And here's Carol 6 months later, on September 23rd, atop Mount Katahdin in Maine, having just completed her 2,198-mile adventure.
Holy cow, half a year. But now that it's over, oh my gosh, it went so fast, you know? I can't believe it's over already.
What an amazing accomplishment, especially since Carol hiked the trail by herself. She met a lot of fellow hikers along the way, usually at shelters at the end of the day, but there were nights when she was all alone.
It's always a little off-putting when the sun goes down and no one else has come into camp. Then every little sound is a little bit of a frightening experience. You think, is that a bear? You know?
The most frightening moment on the trail did not involve a bear or even this lynx.
Probably coming around a corner on the trail, and there was a rattlesnake just lying in the sun. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and neither of us moved.
Carol slowly backed off, and the snake went on its way. At times, Carol also had to deal with sickness and injury. She had to rest 9 days after falling and injuring her ribs to the point she could not buckle her backpack. She had to deal with wind chills and rain. That's when the biggest obstacle to finish was herself. There were times she called her husband in Spartansburg saying she wanted to quit.
We had an agreement that if I called him and said that, he wasn't going to come get me. And he would let me vent, and he would then say, well, go get a good meal, get a good night's sleep in a hostel or a hotel, get a hot shower, and call me in the morning, but I'm not coming to pick you up.
Quitting would have been something she would have regretted for the rest of her life. She would have missed beautiful scenery like this. She would have missed the camaraderie of her fellow hikers. And she would never know the feeling of accomplishing a lifelong dream on the day she saw this sign telling her she hiked the entire distance.
It was overwhelming emotionally, and I didn't cry as much as I thought I might, but I did walk up and kiss the sign.
Carol, after listening to your stories, I'm ready to go hiking. With The Last Word in Corey, John Last, Erie News Now.
Brava, Carol. It took Carol exactly 6 months to walk the entire distance. 1,537 hikers began the trail the same time she did. 1,020 made it halfway, and only 860 made it all the way to the finish point in Maine.
What an incredible journey. And Carol's husband joined her for the final 100 miles. We'll be right back.